Good.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and spin this thing around for the knee. I'm going to loosen that lever. I'm going to pull this one. I'm going to be doing the right knee. Have it click in there. Make sure this is nice and tight. Actually goes the other way. Nice and tight. We're going to drop this all the way down. Tighten that up. So when I sit down here, this thing should line up with my knee joint. That's a little bit forward of my knee. So I'm going to crank that a little bit more forward. I'm going to try to keep this thing, I'm going to keep this thing out of the way so it doesn't trap somebody's leg in there. Okay? So now that's lining up with my knee joint. From here, putting the strap on to stabilize the thigh is a good idea. Actually, you'd probably want to set the range of motion first, just so that you didn't have any regrets later. So let me take you through that. We're going to go back to setup, hit standby, and then on. And then we know that the knee in the up direction, that'll get us pretty straight. And then we're going to really, I don't want to work the full range, so we're not going to even go to 90 degrees there. We want to try to save the kneecap a little bit. So that's our passive motion. And you could really even set these back down to 60%, just to make sure that you're not starting with too much range of motion. So now I have this. I'm going to go ahead and go over to passive. I'm going to hit, obviously that's not letting me turn it on, so I'm going to turn my speed down. I'm going to be turning that on now, and now it's going through some range of motion. I've already set that down to a limited range, because you wouldn't want to have somebody strapped in here and then it go up too far. And that's why I typically will not strap them in until they've went through some limited range of motion. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the knee all the way straight here, so I'm increasing my range of motion on the up direction nice and slow. And that's about what I feel comfortable with. In the down direction I can go a little bit further, but especially to start, we want to work the top half of the range to minimize stress through the patella here. That's going to be something that's easily irritated, and we want to protect that the best we can. So at this slow speed, I'm resisting on the way up and helping on the way down. And then same thing, I'm helping on the way up, okay, and resisting on the way down. And then just like all of our other activities, we can start to increase that speed. This will be all the way up. And this is where you have to tell a person, give 50% first. 50%. Okay, give 60%. Because you can see there's quite a transition there. If I put this on a softer landing, it's a little bit safer. Also, if I let there be a little bit of a time lag here. So I'm helping, I'm resisting, helping, but it kind of catches you all at once. So you don't want to be giving full effort when that thing first starts. Because remember, eccentric contractions are more aggressive contractions. So I'm helping on the way up, resisting on the way down. And that's fatiguing me out pretty quickly. I can do the other thing, helping on the way down, resisting just a little bit, and there you go, on the way up. then you could increase the range there a little bit. One thing about working a fuller arc, it gives you time to react. So that's that one, and then we would stop that. Now what's nice about this is you leave that hooked up the same way. We take this thing off, and now we start with the other side. The only adjustment you would probably need to make would be to make sure that this seat level was adjusted to about the same as it is on the other side. Make sure this handle is out of the way, just in case a person got pinched in there a little bit. And always reduce that range of motion down to about 50%, just in order, 50 or 60%, just to let them get ready. But now I'm going to reduce the speed because it makes me, and it's the safest way to go. And then I hit start again. Of course, the person would be in that chair at this point, and then you progress from there. And then we increase the range of motion slowly but surely.
Walk forward a little bit more, please.
And then from there, we would basically pick this thing up, spin it around, and just basically work our way back. So then you'd be doing hip flexion extension. Well, actually it'd be left hip flexion extension, contralateral right hip adduction, abduction, moving it up, left elbow flexion extension, moving it up once again to shoulder flexion extension, and then you've completed the whole body. And then after that, going and doing a foam rolled stretch in a T position with knees bent would be a good thing. Even a perpendicular stretch just as a cool down and postural stretch. Do you know what I mean by the